Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho 4. This is part 3 of the statements Jack D gave to the detective before his mother called, and then he asked for his lawyer. That was on the 15th of November. It's on the reports, which I've read to you in part 1. Then in part 2, on the 17th of November, he comes with his lawyer. Disclaimers, rights. This is partly my opinions and mostly facts. That's why we go back to the beginning. If something doesn't make sense, then that is a major problem. At 1:32, we see Jack D sitting in the corner club. That was when we see the screenshot of Jack D, Maddie and Kaylee, and Adam and John Schwartz on the other side. From 2:26 to 2:52, Jack D is called 10 times by Kaylee and Madison Morgan. Jack D didn't take a Uber, I guess. Taxi, no proof of a driver who came forward, so he took his own car, or more likely waited for bartender and friend Adam, who would be free around 2 to 2:15. But 2 to 2:15, and Jack D said to the detectives, this is facts. Go back to the report in part 2 and part 1. He tells the detectives he was home at 1 a.m. But he clearly took the picture with Kaylee and Maddie at 1:32. So if you took it at 1:32, why would you be saying you were at home at 1 o'clock? WSU Kim had her opinions, and she said her daughter told her that Jack D was trying to search her alibi. That is speculations now. But this one proves that there's something major with Jack D. This timeline. Even Showalter didn't ask for a lawyer, but Jack D asked for an attorney. It's smart to have an attorney, but why start your interview with the detective and then ask for an attorney? Sounds kind of strange. Then it makes me remember what the mayor said, crime of passion. You have the whole map here from the corner club at Main Street right up to 1122 King Road. I think it's a 5-minute drive. But the girls went to the grub truck first, and Showalter was walking with them. So today I want to talk a bit about the reports and find out why the timeline is so wrong with Jack D. This is what TMZ's article said too. Look at the timeline downstairs. Jack D was at the corner club at 1:32 when Kaylee and Maddie were already there. Couldn't have been at home till 2, I guess. And he said something about seeing a fraternity president, sober guy, driving him home. I wonder if that was David B. Because he said on Amazon Prime he was sober. It was the sober watch. So why would Jack D not remember that he didn't come home at 1 a.m.? Is he trying to buy time? Just wondering. Well, remember this because I'm going back to the reports. Look at the timeline. You can Google this up. You can check it on all your researches. That was the timeline. So why would somebody get their timeline so wrong? Where was Adam? What did Maddie tell Adam? Since we're going back to the beginning, airmail article told us how the scene was. The body cam looks like it's small. Edited? They redacted many things. I'm not only talking about the crime scene. The way airmail described the scene was more detailed. It was a quick trip. The roads leading into the university neighborhood that Sunday were as empty as the classrooms. And as soon as Gunderson's black and white cruiser pulled up behind the neat row of cars parked in the driveway of the Austro cantilevered house on King Road, he immediately knew something was very wrong. It was the noise. There wasn't any. Just an eerie, unnatural silence. A cluster of young people, university students, presumably, were milling outside the open front door of 1122 like gulls on a beach, and yet they were exceptionally quiet. They weren't merely subdued. They seemed stunned, as if drained by a deep and intense shock. When the three mystified officers approached the front door, someone in the crowd, it would be later, be shed, muttered a single plaintive word: dead. So you see, they knew. Not only did they not call 911, they knew all of them were dead. They muttered the word. Trigger warning. Let's continue. The airmail says still Gunderson would confess to others he was unprepared for the strong smell of red liquid that rose up in his nostrils the moment he walked inside. The coroner, who had once been an emergency room nurse in an earlier stage of her life, would describe the scene in press interviews as chaos. Lots of BLOOD. Few other words would even attempt to put into words what they saw. So I believe what they saw was much more horrific. So I don't think that's the full body cam itself. There are moments cops will tell you that are too profound, too unnerving to be experienced in the present. All you can do is move forward. There will be time later to try to make sense of it all. Procedures takes precedence. It allows the protective membrane to be stretched between the real and the too real. All other thoughts, all other feelings becomes extraneous. Okay. So Gunderson was unprepared for the strong smell of blood that rose up his nostrils. So it was a bloodbath. We didn't get to see all the crime scene pictures, and the families are fighting to stop it in court. It doesn't matter, because I believe I've seen enough to make my opinion and understand people are not being genuine. Jagdi's lying, saying he came home at 1 a.m. while he's on evidence or pictures on Google and TMZ and many other reports. That picture was taken at 1:32. I showed you all the evidence. This is not my opinion. So why is he not telling the detectives the truth? Why is I'm just challenging, or not even challenging, I apologize, questioning what's written on the report. The airmail article continues by saying Gunderson and his two officers, largely mute, almost robotic in their movements, now stepped carefully across the blood-streaked wooden